Good afternoon, party people. Okay, I've just uploaded a video for today's oracle reading. In that reading, I spoke about intuition and boundaries, and not what you desire, but what you know to be right. And another comment that was put on one of my other posts earlier last week was, how do I know if it's my intuition? So today, I'm going to talk to you about what real intuition is. Now, there's pride, there's ego, and there's fear, that three-headed monster that gets in the way again. And that can cloud your intuitive judgment, okay? Your intuition doesn't care about your feelings, doesn't care how you have your coffee in the morning, or how you like your pillows plumped. It don't give a shit about any of that. Your intuition is your soul's compass, okay? It is often that voice that says to you, don't do it. But your ego or your desire says, but I wanna do it. And it says, don't do it. You don't like it, so you don't listen to it. And so you go on and you do it, and you think, darn, wish I'd listened to that little voice. I wish I'd listened to my intuition. I spoke about changing of direction, okay, and being up in your head, and as the direction changes, it unsettles you, so you hold on to your broom more. That is true to a point, and I'm saying if you set firm, clear boundaries and listen to your intuition, your direction will become easier and won't be so changeable. I just wanted to expand a little more on that. When I talk about firm boundaries, people get confused with boundaries as well, and they tend to use boundaries to justify their ego and their desire and their wants and the fluffy voice that pats you back and brings your coffee the way you like it. That's not boundary, that's a confinement, okay? That's a confinement of yourself. A boundary, I did speak about boundaries, owning your truth. And owning your truth also is tied very closely into connecting with your intuition. When we talk about growth and we talk about healing, we talk about owning our truth, we always say it's never cupcakes and rainbows and unicorns. It's often messy, it's your shadow side, and it stings sometimes, and it's horrid at times. However, whenever you see a rainbow in the sky, you know it never got there by purely sunny days, don't you? There's a balance. That rainbow went through rain to create its own beauty. And it's the same with your growth and your healing and your intuition. Your intuition is never, ever wrong. Now, often we don't like what it says because it conflicts with our personal desires, which tie in with the 3D world, with our ego, our pride, and any desire that we have. If you're prepared to live a life like that, fair play to you. But if you want honest direction and you find that you have continually gone into situations that haven't quite worked for you in the way that you would hope, and you keep thinking, why didn't I listen to that little voice? Why didn't you? Because it wasn't comfortable. Because it didn't say what you wanted it to say. When we are kids, we don't get what we want all the time. In life, you never get everything that you want, but you always get what you need. And your intuition is there to serve your needs if you listen correctly. If you listen to that voice correctly and think about it, okay, I don't like what it's telling me because that's not what I want. But is it not what you want? Have a think about it. Try and put desires and pride and ego to one side and think, this is maybe what I need, but it's not what I want. And think about the outcome. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do it, and it's not for my highest good. So is it actually going to be what I want at the end of it? No, it's not. It's not, because ultimately it's going to hurt you. And like I said, sometimes boundaries that are too strict and rigid and not pure and not intuitive and not owning truth can cut you. Sometimes boundaries are not boundaries because they're not authentic. Boundaries are confines of control, either used to control others or to control yourself. Sometimes we can get mixed up by thinking if we have very strict rules and we put very strict boundaries in place, then we will be fine, we will be protected, and no one can get in and no one can hurt us. We hurt those that we love on the outside of that wall, and we hurt ourselves because those that we love often, after a while, just go. They just go. And then you don't have what you need and ultimately what your soul wanted. So both sides are hurt. So no one wins. Boundaries are a delicate balance on a razor blade, and they are very tied into intuition. You must listen to your intuition carefully, objectively, and kindly, and without complete desire for yourself but your highest good. So if you get an intuitive feel, but it's sometimes you often get a feeling you think, this is weird, I don't know why I feel this, but that's your intuition. Please pay careful attention to it. If you are unsure, which we often are, and that's okay, because pride and ego and anything else, they're pretty strong beasts. And intuition is often the quiet little voice, but it's often the firmest and always the most right. So if you're conflicting and you are confused, always take time. Always take time. If in doubt, think it out. Yeah? Think about it. Turn all media off. Go and have a sit on your own, either in nature, by water, or just quietly in your room if you can. Somewhere that you're comfortable and you feel safe within yourself and you're undisturbed. And think about the situation. Sometimes you can think too hard, so it can become muddled. And again, the three-headed monster comes out again, and your intuition is there, and they're all fighting, and it's all a bit of a disco dance, but it's not very productive. Distance yourself. Put everything on pause, because you're able to do that. Come back to it when your head is clearer. Meditate, clear your head, have a salt bath, drink water, okay? Sometimes what you think is always best for you isn't, because you're getting it confused with wants and desires, rather than primal needs. So your intuition is that quiet little voice sometimes that often disagrees with you, but knows what's best. Okay? So when I say setting boundaries, I mean intuitive, honest, authentic boundaries. We all say we've got boundaries and we own our truth. I'm not letting them do this to me again. I'm putting my foot down. That's it. That's fine. That's okay. But you need to look at how it happened in the first place, why it happened, why you allowed it to happen, how you feel about that, how you feel about allowing whatever it was to happen, how you feel about how you're going to tackle it next time, and how you're going to feel about yourself after you've tackled it in your new way. I absolutely promise you, when you take intuition's hand and you walk hand in hand, it's the most wonderful partnership ever. You'll have spats, like all good couples do, but you and your intuition were partnered at birth and will be with you forever. So please, it might not always tell you what you want to hear, but it will tell you the truth. And once you have connected to your intuition and your honest, raw truth, not what doesn't piss you off, because there'll be things that piss you off, but it doesn't mean they're not the truth. Quite often they are, to be fair. But if someone says something that bristles you, think, okay, why does that bristle me? How do I feel about that? What part did I play in that? How was my response or my contribution to that? What made them react in that way? Especially if it's someone that is out of character for them, that you think, wow, that's out of character. Before assuming, oh, it must be because, look at the picture. Look at the full story. Look at your part. Think about whether you acted on intuition or ego. Okay. Roll it around in your head. Think about that person. Think about the whole situation overall. There's often three sides to every story. Your side, their side, and the truth. Okay. It's quite common, isn't it? Anything in this life or any situation in this life, look at all three sides to it. Go back, roll it round. You'll often find that you had a different answer than the one you began with. Look at it objectively. Then that's when you put your pride aside. Okay. Then you tear down that wall, okay? And you have honest and truth and authenticity. Boundaries don't need to be restrictive and confined. Boundaries are honesty and truth. Once you have your own personal honesty and truth, people intuitively understand this. So there's no need to be building walls up and slamming gates down and putting your foot down and asserting your authority. Because that's just your own confinement and that's just hostility to others. And you end up wheel spinning in mortar from the wall that you've just built. And it helps no one and no one wins. you're just at stalemate. So think objectively, put your pride and ego away, okay? Think with your intuition, think with your honest, authentic self. Even if you're not comfortable with it, it's still the same answer. Whether you're comfortable with it or not, it's still the same answer, okay? Have a think about that intuition, then act upon it. And if you find that you have run a curveball and you've perhaps done what you should have done in that situation, listen to your intuition. Put your pride and your ego swords down. Go and do the right thing. Watch the situation change. Watch the people and the energy change around you. And watch how things level up when they take your intuition's hand and you will walk forward to the path of peace, clarity, happiness and success. It ain't easy. Our intuition rarely tells us what we want to hear, but they are always, always right. I really hope this helps. This is a constant battle, and one that we fight, and one that we'll be working with every day of our lives. And none of us are exempt, and we will struggle with it, and we will always struggle with it. But just understand the clarity between them, and what they mean, and how they can affect the outcome, and ultimately improve your life. And with that, I wish you all the best, in love and light. Peace out, party people.